Hello and welcome to Pick a Card Palace. In today's Pick a Card reading, we will be answering the question, who wants to ask you out? For this reading, we have 6 options. Option 1 is the dragonfly. Option 2 is the impala. Option 3 is the owl. Option 4 is the snake. Option 5 is the butterfly. And option 6 is the swan. Have a look at these options, and once you've made your selection or selections, because it is okay to choose more than one, hey, maybe more than one person wants to ask you out, then you can scroll down to the description box where you will find links taking you to each of the individual readings. I'm going to give you a bit of time now to make your selection before we get started, but if you need more time, just pause the video. Hello there, option 1, if you chose the dragonfly, this will be your reading. Now you chose this creature here. The card says, well, it was focusing for me for about 3 seconds. It says illusion, lightness, and shifting. Now the dragonfly is a creature of the air, or at least much of its time is spent in the air. So this indicates that we could be dealing with an air sign here. That would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So your person may be one of these signs as a sun sign or something else prominent in their astrology, their birth chart. But regardless of what their sun sign or what have you is, this person who wants to ask you out has a very light quality of just being very, what will we say? I don't want to say fickle necessarily, but kind of like this person goes fast, but they don't go deep. Now, I'm not saying that they have no depth. I mean, we'll see if something else comes out, you know. But this first impression here is of someone who maybe enjoys socializing with lots of different people. Maybe they don't meet strangers. But it's all very kind of surface level. And it can be hard with someone like this to really know whether they have a special interest in you beyond the platonic or the merely just kind of entertaining, really, like, because this quality here of the airiness suggests that they enjoy lots of different types of connections, possibly multiple connections at the same time. So this is someone maybe who would be in a relationship but might still be seen out there like openly flirting with other people and that kind of thing. And I know that's something that not everybody likes, okay? But anyway, I'm just telling you, okay? Like, that's just maybe. I don't want to say that. I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush. Maybe not everyone here indicated would have all of these qualities. This is a general reading. But let's see what else we can find out about this person. So who is this person who wants to ask option 1 out? Who is this person who wants to ask them out? We have the 8 of Cups. We also have the Queen of Wands. Hmm. Let me see what's on the bottom of the deck here. Yeah, we've got the Star. Okay, this is someone you seem to have made quite the impression on, option one, because I think that they see you in this kind of rarefied light. Like they see you as being different than the others and better. Okay, a cut above the rest. But I also feel like here with this Eight of Cups that they're maybe not so confident that you would see enough in them to want to date them. As I said, maybe you see them as this kind of social butterfly. I know it's a dragonfly, not a butterfly, but it's still a fly. It still, has wings and flits around. And maybe they feel like you see them that way, as someone who doesn't put down roots. Someone's more like a rolling stone. Someone who's like, hey, I'm just out there with Mr. or Ms. Right now instead of Mr. or Ms. Right. And maybe this person, they perceive that you may see them as someone who doesn't even, think in terms of finding a someone, like exclusive and ongoing. So there's some sadness or disappointment here with the idea that they think that you are maybe just like too high quality for them. And high quality, I mean like having standards and oh, that's terrible. I'm not trying to say they like go for whoever is making themselves available, but as I said, there's this loose, unbounded, just here and there and everywhere energy about this person, and they don't see you that way. They see you as, like I said, high value. So I think they feel like maybe there's a mismatch potentially because you wouldn't really entertain them the way that they would like for you to entertain them. And they do see you as maybe different than the others, which means you stand out to them, and that's no small feat considering all these competing interests, shall we say, that are kind of in the environment for this person. But yeah, they see you though as I think they're seeing you as the Queen of Wands here. Very clever, very exciting, sexy, but again, perhaps out of reach for them. Again, perhaps not someone they feel like would give them the time of day or a real chance, okay? They think you might find them interesting in a funny way. I think they feel like you might find them temporarily diverting, like, oh, well, this is a fling that you would be interested in, but not something more. And they're actually not happy about that. Like I said, I feel like there's some sadness here, like they don't believe they could have what they'd really want with you, which is more, and that's surprising, maybe because they don't come across as somebody thinking about happily ever after or even tomorrow that much. Anyway, let's see what else we can find out about this person who has a I guess they do have a crush on you. They do have a crush on you, but that's not the question here. The question is who wants to ask you out. So tell us more, please, about who this person is who wants to ask option one out. We have Africa. We also have guts. Interesting. Okay, so this might be somebody who we already talked about how, they're flitting around from place to place, person to person. So we got somebody on our hands who may be a traveler. And if they're not actually, traveling to far-flung and exotic places in the world, they may aspire to that. They might find that as like a goal. They may want to travel the world and see cool stuff. Okay. Since Africa is literally here, maybe there is an African connection with this person. For some of you, I don't know. Another thing here is I got the impression that, first of all, this person is brave. Because we got guts here. This person is brave. This is a brave person. I don't know if they're, we'll see momentarily if they're brave enough to ask you out, but they do want to ask you out. But yeah, there's a sense of courage here. So this is a courageous person. This is someone who not only has this sense of like, you know, wanting to travel and all that, but they like the adventure. And I think that's why they are, say why they're brave, but I mean, part of this energy of bravery, I think that's coming through, it has to do with the fact that they're willing or wanting to just kind of like go out there and see the world, and they're not so concerned about, oh, well, you know, is it really safe? Like they're, you know, you might be dealing with somebody who's like an adrenaline junkie, as they call it. You know, somebody likes to bungee jump or jump out of airplanes or, you know, jump around, do dangerous stuff, but that's supposed to give you like that adrenaline rush. So that's interesting. Now, we also actually, I was going to say, this also reminds me of kind of like things that are medical. So I wonder if this person is someone who is working in the medical field, the biomedical field, even though medical seems more like it. Like I could see this person working in emergency medicine, you know, emergency room or emergency responder, or you know, someone who, I don't know, they do like rescue missions, or maybe they would be interested in that kind of stuff. Very interesting. Option 1. So now let's see why they're interested in asking you out. Like, what do they like so much about you? So what does this person like so much about option 1 that they want to ask option 1 out? Okay, we have the map, and we have the kettle. Huh. Okay, this person actually feels like you are somehow a kindred spirit when it comes to this sense of adventure. They feel like you could hang with them as they globetrot and go on these amazing adventures. I was going to say safaris because we got the animals in the African plain over here, okay? So anyway, yeah, like they think, yeah, option 1, you know, they'd be down for that. They would think it was cool and exciting too. Maybe they see something else in you here, a certain courage. You know, I mean, you come across to them at least as someone who's got this kind of poise, someone who is very much themselves and confident, whether quietly or not so quietly, in whatever environment. So they think that you're someone that could travel with them and be like, I don't know, you could maybe put on your khaki pants and your sunglasses and go on this African safari 1 week, and then another week you could go to Paris and visit the Louvre, or I don't know, they could take you anywhere. They feel like they could take you anywhere, and that you would, you know, be your usual amazing self, and that you would just fit right in, whether it's, you know, in Europe or Africa or highbrow or lowbrow. That's interesting. I don't know if this is true about you, option 1, but this is their perception of you. You know, they see the two of you are maybe kindred spirits in some ways. Okay. So now let's see what they would like to say to you at this time? Song time. What would this person who wants to take option 1 out like to say to option 1 at this time? What would they like to say to option 1? What would they like to say to option 1? We have, I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you. This is from Moves Like Jagger by Maroon 5. I was not expecting that. Okay. So, yeah, so, I said this person was, something of a social butterfly. So maybe they have developed traits that they're very confident in. Like their ability to woo people. Get them on their side or convince them of what they want to do. And this person seems to think all they've got to do is look into your eyes and they'll like hypnotize you or something. I don't know. Maybe they're just in a frame of mind right now where they're just feeling really confident. And so this is what's coming through. But they feel like, and maybe if you gave them a chance, like they could really impress you and knock your socks off and enthrall you in some way, I guess. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Option 1. This, I have to say, this has been a pretty entertaining reading for me, actually. So thank you, option 1, for bringing this energy. Okay, now let's see what else they would like to say to you. What else would this person who wants to take option 1 out or ask them out, what would this person like to say to option 1 at this time? Let's see. We've got, what an amazing job. Got a little heart there made out of flowers. Okay, so what an amazing job. They think you've done a great job with something. And my first thought is that they think that you do an amazing job at your job, whatever your job is. And if you're a student, then you do an amazing job as a student. But they want you to know they think you do an amazing job. They're impressed by whatever it is that you're doing for a living or, in preparation for a career. So they want you to know that. They want you to know that they're impressed by that. Okay, so now, before we close it out, we're going to see. This person talks a big game, don't they? So, with this person, is this person going to be gathering up the courage, as it were? But are they actually going to ask option 1 out anytime soon? I mean, like, they may want to, sure. They may brag about being able to, cast a spell over option 1, but are they going to actually come forward and ask option 1 out anytime soon? Let's see what we got here. We got solid maybe. Okay, so maybe option 1, this person who's really feeling themselves right now anyway, might actually come forward and ask you out. So, all right, good luck with that. Sounds very exciting anyway. Okay, so I'm going to end it here. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to the channel and or give this video a thumbs up. It'll help me out very much and the channel and the video. Thank you for watching. I'll move on now. Hello there, option 2. If you chose this lovely impala, this will be your reading. Again, the question we're answering today is, who wants to take you out? So with this impala here, I'll show you more close up if it'll focus for me. There we go. It says intensity, vigilance, and speed. So the impala is a land animal. It's not spending its time in the air or in the sea. It's on land, and land corresponds to earth, the earth element. So we could be dealing here with a Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo. Someone with heavy placements in one of those signs. Maybe it's their sun sign, maybe it's not. There's maybe some other type of astrological emphasis there that gives them this very grounded, earthy energy. But that's one clue for who this is. And if this person doesn't have that going on somehow, even though they very likely could, then the thing to know about him or her is that this is someone who is very agile and swift. So this is someone probably who's very, they have a sense of urgency about whatever they're doing. So that's kind of funny because I don't think of urgency and swiftness when I think of earth signs, but maybe this person's got like some fire going on in their chart too, like, you know, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Because yeah, there's something here about, I'm picturing, what was his name? You know, the rabbit character, I think it's a rabbit, in Alice in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass, who's got like the pocket watch, and he's so nervous all the time looking at this watch and saying, oh my goodness. And I think in the movie, I think there was a movie, right? Was it a cartoon? Anyway, he's saying, I'm late for a very important date. I mean, like, this person is very like focused on, well, actually, I would say probably this is a very career-oriented person, and that might be why they got this get up and go. They got this sense of urgency because time is money, y'all. So that's the type of person here that we're dealing with. Someone who doesn't sit around letting the grass grow. They're very active, right? Especially when it comes to job and resources and material things or what have you. But at the same time, you know, this person can relax. They do have the ability to relax. But there's always this underlying, I think, kind of tension. Like, shouldn't I be doing something? I can relax, but only for so long before that urge to get up and go do something comes back. This may be the kind of person who, for the most part, always has something in their hand, as they say. Like, when you picture them, they're always busy. They're always doing something. Okay, so let's see what else we can find out about this person here, option 2, who wants to ask you out. So tell us more about this person who wants to ask option 2 out. Tell us more about this person. We have the Ace of Wands. Okay, well, there's our fire energy right there. We also have the Four of Cups. Okay, again, I think this is someone who likes to get stuff done, and they like to achieve things, and they're never really satisfied with what they have achieved. You know, they always see like that they could do more or could have done more. And again, as I said, like, this is someone who finds it uncomfortable to go on vacation, even though they can relax for a brief time. They really very soon want to get back up and get back into things, get back into work, get back to work. You know, and even if this person is not, like, say, maybe like really enamored of their job, they're doing this energy is coming out in their life in some other way. You know, maybe they've got a hobby that they really enjoy, or maybe they actually are very entrepreneurial minded. You know, at least if they're, I would say they've got that kind of personality, even if they're not actually pursuing something. I mean, they certainly, I think, have the traits that would help them succeed. But yeah, the only thing I would say is that, you know, this is someone who maybe once they, as I said, once they achieve something, it's like, Oh, but I could do better. Oh, but I could have done this. Oh, but what about the next thing? Let's go on to the next thing. What's the next accomplishment? And this may spill over into their, personal life, in that this may be someone who finds it hard to settle down with someone. Maybe because they start thinking, well, what about if there's someone else, if someone better? But somehow you've caught this person's eye, option 2, and they do want to ask you out. And hey, I don't know, maybe it'll come through in the reading as to, what we need to make of this particular quality I'm talking about. This something that makes it harder for them, just in their personality, to just choose one person and be like, okay, this is my person. Okay, so who wants to ask option 2 out? Tell us more about this person. Who wants to ask option 2 out? We have the car and the gateway. It's funny. Let's see what's on the bottom of this deck. We've got music on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. I'm gonna point out here how all of this, the imagery on these 3 cards, is very different. But you've got this kind of arch here with the space between. You've got here with this, how the tree curves, the tree. Do you see how there's kind of like this, again, this window, this window, this window. I almost feel like there's something having to do with portals or another realm or something going on here. Something going on. I don't know if it's something spiritual here. Or if this is, I don't know, I can't quite shake the feeling. I feel like there's something there, and let me see. It's almost like this is someone who wants to invite you into their world. Perhaps because their world is different somehow. I don't know if that is different from yours per se. I mean, I think it's almost like it's different from most people's. It's like there's how everyone else is doing life, and then there's this person over here doing their life some other way. And with the car here, this speaks to travel. And I was talking about portals, like, and it just feels like there's a sense of almost like beckoning, like if you move towards this person, maybe I feel like if they stretch their hand out to you and offer it, and you take it, and they pull you in, that they're going to be taking you out of the reality that you are in currently, the reality that most of us share, and taking you instead into this other place, like realm. Okay, and I know I showed the music at the bottom of the deck here. This could be someone who's into music. I don't know if they're a musician per se. Hey, they got all this other stuff going on. Maybe they enjoy making music too. They might have picked up that skill along the way, because they love to stay busy. Huh. But anyway, I'm sorry, that energy is like mystical. And maybe this is how it would feel for you to join with this person, to align with this person, to, I don't know, go out with this person. I mean, going out is a pretty casual thing, pretty preliminary usually, but no, I don't know. Like, this person might show you a whole different world or reality or something. That's something that I don't think has ever come through in a reading I've done on this channel. So, okay. If this makes any sense to you, if you recognize this person, hey, could you, explain to me in the comments? Thanks. Okay, so now let's turn and see, what is it that this person likes so much about you that makes them want to ask you out? We have the Book and the Clock. Now that's funny because I was talking about a pocket watch, like a timepiece that the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland carries and frets over. But there's something here about time and timing that makes this person want to ask you out. I don't know if this is someone you've known for a long time. Maybe this is what it's referencing. And then maybe they've actually wanted to ask you out for a long time. So there could be that. Also, they find that, I think it's that your life experiences have given you a perspective, a maturity that they find very attractive and fascinating. They like that you still remain somewhat maybe of a mystery to them. Like you're not someone who is an open book, you are a closed book. And they find that interesting because there's always something new to learn. And maybe actually that's a good thing because this person we were talking about before, I didn't say they tend to get bored. I just said they tend to maybe keep looking like, man, I don't know if I've got the right one yet. Maybe there's someone else or something else better. But with you, maybe they feel like they would not be so inclined to keep looking because they feel like you would be endlessly fascinating. They'd always be learning something new about you. Interesting. Okay, so now let's see what they would like to say to you. Option 2. So this person who wants to ask option 2 out, what would they like to say to option 2? What would they like to say to option 2 at this time? This person who wants to ask option 2 out, what would they like to say to option 2 at this time? Let's see. We have, your friends told you that I'm a selfish man. Maybe in my past, but you've changed me now. This is from the song They Don't Know by John B. Okay, yeah, we were talking about, this person just kind of being very busy, very driven, probably with things pertaining to career, work, money, etc. Maybe finding it hard to settle down with one person because they're always wondering if this person's it. Or maybe they could improve upon this person somehow. But this song lyric suggests that you somehow have made them change or change their mind, change their ways, or want to. But here's a dynamic in which they believe someone has told you different. Someone has told you, oh, this person's selfish, this person's not a good person to entertain. Huh. So yeah, they want you to know that it would be different with you. That they feel different because of you. Okay. So now let's see what else they would like to say to you. Option 2. What else would this person who wants to ask option 2 out, what else would they like to say to option 2 at this time? Okay, we have, the world needs more people like you. Oh, well, that's nice. Isn't that nice? So, yeah, they do see you as being someone who makes the world a better place. Maybe someone who makes them a better person. Well, that's very nice. Now, let's see, before we close it out, if this person will be asking you out anytime soon. Sure, they want to ask you out, but will they? Will this person who wants to ask option 2 out be asking option 2 out anytime soon? Let's see. We have it depends. It depends? What kind of answer is that? I guess we need to clarify. Okay. It depends on what? Think it through. Okay. Let me see what's at the bottom of the deck. Okay, light and knowledge. So this person has some thinking to do, it looks like. They want to be sure, perhaps, before they ask you out. Maybe they want to find out a little bit more. Maybe they want to get to know you a little bit better before they take that next step of actually asking you out. So I don't know what context you know this person in, but maybe they'll try to spend more time with you that way before they make things more explicitly romantic. And this all very preliminary because this card says it depends. So it depends on whether they can accomplish what they want to accomplish, which is to say find out what they want to find out before they maybe take that next step. Okay, option 2. This is your reading. This is who wants to ask you out. So if you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to the channel or give this video a thumbs up or both. It really help me and the channel out a lot with the algorithm. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to move on now to the next option. Hello there, option 3. If you chose the owl, this will be your reading. We are answering the question, who wants to ask you out? So you chose the owl, and the card here says wisdom, learning, and intuition. And it was nice and sharp and not blurred. There we go. Okay, so there's your owl. So the fact that you chose the owl tells me that we could be dealing, again, we saw this in the previous group, with an air sign, because the owl is a creature that spends a lot of time in the air. Air signs are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So this person who wants to ask you out could have that sign or that type of energy, the airy energy, very prominent in their charts or just in their personality, which probably mean it's in their charts too, actually. But anyway, so that implies that we're dealing with someone who is a thinker, someone who is logical, someone who is wise, as this card said. It actually says wisdom and learning. So you're dealing with someone who's probably very intelligent, a deep thinker, someone who might be well educated, but if they're not well educated, like institutionally speaking, they may be self taught. They may know a lot of stuff. They might be voracious readers, for example, or they might be a voracious reader. Yeah. But there's also a sense here, the owl is a night creature. It doesn't show itself too much otherwise. So this person could be like literally a night owl. They could be a night owl, or they could be someone who maybe, actually, here's one idea. Maybe they struggle to go to sleep at night. They might be an insomniac. But I guess they put their time to good use if they aren't sleeping in the night. That would just be for some of you, though. I don't think that's going to be for most of your people. Anyway, yeah, so we got a clever person here, a smart person who wants to ask you out. Might be a loner, might not be so socially oriented, which is kind of different from what you would typically expect with an air sign. But I feel a certain aloofness like Aquarius, like maybe this is an Aquarian air energy. Anyway, let's continue. So for option 3, tell us more about this person who would like to ask option 3 out. Who is this person who would like to ask option 3 out? We have the Devil. Don't be scared. We also have the 8 of Wands. Okay, yeah. So I was saying that this person is a thinker, could be a night owl, could have some sleep issue, and I feel like that's maybe coming through a bit more again here. Like this person has, yes, a very clever mind, a very active mind, but perhaps an overactive mind. Like this person may, suffer with certain psycho-emotional issues, anxiety. I don't know about depression, even though maybe anxiety and depression often do go together, interestingly. But yeah, so they could have some mental health struggles. If not, they're just a very driven person. Maybe it's a drive towards knowledge. Could be a drive towards anything, though, really. And looks like also this person is probably I would say communicative with you. I don't know if they currently are communicative with you, but if not, they very much want to be communicative with you. And they also, I gotta say here, even though this person comes through with, as the cool, calm, and collected owl, that there is some strong sexual energy here. Like, so I think this is sexual attraction that they feel for you. Like they're very attracted to you, and it might be kind of something that they're keeping under wraps. Like, again, because they've got this aloof exterior. But yeah, look at that at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, or I should say, yeah, baby. Is that Austin Powers? Okay, I don't know if I want that to. Let's not dwell on that. Okay, so let's continue. So for option 3, who is this person who wants to ask them out? Who is this person who wants to ask option 3 out? We've got the princess. And the scientist. That's an interesting combination. So while this person, we talked about this person probably being an intellectual, right? They approach life in this scientific way. They like to test things out. They like to come up with hypotheses and then see if they can get data and experimental outcomes that confirm these hypotheses. So they examine things carefully, even things that are, say, emotional, like relationships. So they maybe have more of a cold clinical view of romantic connections. They might agree with Tina Turner, the classic song, What's Love Got to Do with It, where she talks about, what does she say? You must understand how the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. It's only the thrill of boy meeting girl. It's opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. So I'm going to put that song in the description for you, by the way. Because maybe that's how they feel, this person is feeling about you, is that they got this strong attraction. We talked about this sexual attraction here, even though it's surprising that it's coming out of this, this very, very intellectual and aloof person. But, if they understand that, well, this is just a biological urge based on the sociological principle of mating and continuing the community, or maybe not sociological, well, what is it? It's Darwinian. The biological imperative. I remember we talked about when I was in school. They taught that people, humans, are drawn together to have sexual intercourse so that the species can continue, but also so that one's own personal biological life can continue after the person's physical death. I know you didn't want to hear all of that, probably, though. You didn't come for that here in this reading. Excuse me. I'm trying to talk and write at the same time. I'm noting down this Tina Turner thing. Okay, so that's interesting. You got someone on your hands who, I'm going to guess here, we're not at the portion yet where I ask why they want to ask you out, but I'm going to guess here they want to ask you out because, like they think you're hot. I remember years ago seeing this, I think that was an interview, I guess, with Bill Gates, very well-known, quote-unquote nerd. And the interviewer asked him, so what initially attracted you to the woman who eventually became your wife, Melinda Gates? And he said, her looks. And I remember thinking, like, really? I mean, they say he's on the spectrum, and no disrespect if he's on the spectrum. But anyway, I expected thoughtful and nuanced answer than that. Anyway, so your person here, this person might, again, just have this very basic idea about romantic attraction equaling physical attraction equaling the biological imperative. Hey, I didn't say you necessarily want to say yes to this person if they ask you out. That's beyond the scope of the reading. And anyway, you might be okay with that. You might actually be okay with, I don't know, maybe you're owl-like enough to understand this. Also, here we have the princess. The princess is interesting. This may be someone who is, I was going to say classy, but more like classist, which is to say, this may be someone who's a bit haughty, someone who maybe feels a bit superior, and that comes across in their social interaction. Because again, as I said, I don't know how. We talked about someone on the spectrum here. Said maybe they're a loner and not so into the social thing, and maybe it's just because of the lack of understanding all of that. This is someone who's more at home in a laboratory, or with I don't know, algebraic formulas or something like that. So they may come across to you. You may recognize them as someone who you think, oh, well, they seem kind of, I thought this person maybe looked down at me and thought I was somehow kind of, it's inferior, but maybe like intellectually not on their level, and yet they got this raging fire. I was going to say slow burn, but I don't think it's a slow burn. This is like a raging fire underneath their perhaps cold and clinical exterior. Maybe they've got this raging fire for you. So let's see now. Why does this person want to ask option 3 out? Why do they want to ask option 3 out? Okay, we have the staircase. And the baggage. This is interesting. Option 3. Okay, we got this guy on the bottom there. Another studious person. This is actually like a monk. I think, yeah, this person is not maybe so socially connected. It's interesting for an air sign, but like I said, maybe this person's leaning into, Aquarian aloofness maybe. No disrespect to Aquarians. I love Aquarians. I've got some Aquarian friends. They're lovely people. Very clever and smart. There they are. But anyway, this person in particular here, maybe they are wanting to kind of break free of this. Maybe they don't want to stay in the monastery, in the cloister, in the, say in the basement. They don't want to stay in, they want to break free of the laboratory, y'all. They want to go have some biological imperative fun, I guess, with you. But actually, it's beyond that, though. I don't want to, this is indicating to me that they actually want more than that with you. They see I think they even though they may come across like snobbish almost, maybe in some sense, they actually think that I don't know if it's that they see you as being on par with them, but they at least think you are like higher than most, better, quote unquote, than most in some way. And they feel like they could really maybe settle down with you. Like, so they could like expand their little world to include someone other than themselves. And I guess that makes sense for someone who, is really thoughtful and intellectual. Like this person is more like a chess player, looking down the road at other things that could happen in order for them to figure out how to proceed. Like they're staying several steps ahead of the game, so to speak. Okay, this should be interesting now. I want to see what would this person like to say to option 3 at this time? What would this person like to say to option 3? What would this person who wants to ask them out, what would they like to say to option 3? Let's see. It says, I'm not the only one that holds you. I never ever should have told you. You're my only girl. This is from the song Georgy, Porgy by Eric Benet featuring Faith Evans. Huh. I feel like that song came out some time ago. It did. Don't know what reading it was from, but I don't think that is very relevant here. I feel like this is a quite different scenario. Even though this lyric came through here too. This is interesting. Okay, like, I wonder if you've got some kind of, maybe you're already connected to this person, and maybe it's a sexual thing. Okay, and maybe it's not sexual yet. Maybe it's just moving towards that. It's anyway. This person wants to express to you here that they feel like you are their focus, like they're interested only in you, but maybe you're interested in other people, and maybe you're interested in not being exclusive, at least not with this person here. That's their sentiment here. So there is some anxiety on their part. And I don't know where you are in this connection, if there is a connection. I was kind of reading it as though like this person is in the frame, but not, they don't have their feet under the table is what I would have guessed. But maybe for some of you they do. Maybe you already are closer to them. But even if you're not, this is indicating that they're worried. Remember I said they kind of, want to stay a few steps ahead of the game. And so they're looking down the corridor of time, and they see on the horizon the possibility that maybe you won't choose them. And that worries them. Okay. But they would like to ask you out. They just, maybe this is one of the holdups or hangups that they have. Not sure you'd want anything exclusive. Even though it looks to me like they feel like they might be able to have something exclusive with you, like, lasting, even, like, serious. Okay, let's see what else they want to say to you. So what else does this person want to say to option 3? We have, thank you for your dedication. Huh. Okay, I don't know what the context of this is. Maybe for different people it's different. They see you being dedicated to something or someone in some way. I don't know if it's that they see you being dedicated to them, or if this is something else. For different people it's going to differ. So, take this as it resonates here. But they want to thank you for whatever dedication they see you having to whatever they see you having it to. All right, so now let's see, before we close this out, will they ask you out anytime soon? Will this person who wants to ask option 3 out actually do it? anytime soon. Will they actually ask option 3 out anytime soon? We've got no. Alrighty. Huh. Well, they want to ask you out. And that was really just what we intended here to bring forward, is someone who wants to ask you out. So there's that. Maybe we can get a little more though. So why? Secrets kept, flipped out. Well, this person wants to keep their interest perhaps a secret. They're interested in something more or something at all. Okay, but yeah, why won't this person be asking option 3 out anytime soon? Interesting. Okay, we got here a friend, defeat, and warmth. Okay, so yeah, they maybe don't want to jeopardize any kind of friendly, friendship, platonic type connection you have. However loose that association may be, they don't want to make things weird, maybe, by asking you out and then having you like reject them, maybe. Or if you're already involved with them to some degree, you know, them wanting to express, you know, something, their interest that's more, you know, serious and exclusive. Maybe they think you would reject that, so they just hang back here for now. I don't know if that's going to change at some point or not, and I don't even think I need to draw a card. The flippers seem to answer my question well enough. So yes, option 3, this is who wants to ask you out, even though it looks like they won't be doing it anytime soon. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and or subscribe to the channel. It would help my channel out very much with the algorithm. Thank you again for watching. I'm going to move on now to the next option. Hello there, option 4. If you chose the snake, this will be your reading. So here we have this card, which says mystery, healing, and rebirth on it. So these are all themes of the snake. Because you chose this card, I think that we are dealing here with someone who wants to ask you out, who has some of these snake-like qualities. This is a mysterious person. This is someone maybe who keeps their true feelings and intentions under wraps. This is someone maybe who either is currently going through some kind of major change in life, major transition, or they find themselves like that's just their life pattern, that just happens periodically. They're always reinventing themselves. They're always, maybe due to wildly changing circumstances, having to adapt to new circumstances. So yeah, this person may be in some kind of transition at this time. Also, this creature, the snake, is an earthbound creature. It doesn't fly, and most of them don't swim, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this suggests earth energy. That would be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But I don't feel like a lot of the qualities of the snake really relate to those energies, even though I will say that this person also maybe was born during the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac. Let me see. I want to see what the year of the snake is, or the years of the snake. Right. I'm going to look that up here, so I can give you okay, so here's a list of past and future snake years, but I'm only going to need to give you some past ones, because this person here was possibly, not for all of you, but possibly born during the snake year. So some recent ones are 1953, 1965, 1977, 1989, and 2001. Now, we also have 2013, but I presume, I really hope no one here is watching. Unless you're, if you're a small, if you're a preteen, I don't think you should probably be watching these videos. I don't know. Do they restrict those? Anyway, so yeah, we'll cut it off at 2001. Anyway, so it doesn't have to be the case that your person was born, or this person was born during a snake year, but it's quite possible, since that came through. Anyway, so this is kind of, we'll start there, and let's build upon that. I am looking at some more cards here. So for those who chose option 4, who is this person who wants to ask them out? Okay, we have the Hierophant. And we have the Knight of Coins. Okay, well, that pretty much corroborates the Earth energy here, coming in strong. The Hierophant literally represents Taurus. And the Knight of Coins is representative of Earth signs, which we already named, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So you could, in fact, be dealing with an Earth sign here who wants to ask you out. Someone with that energy strong. Now, with the Knight of Coins, this is someone who isn't necessarily someone who is quick to act. In fact, this person may be annoyingly slow, like really slow, and it's because this person is focused on other things, material things, work, career, money, getting his or her life together. This tends to be an energy of a younger person, a younger adult, someone who's just starting out perhaps and has goals they want to achieve first before they quote unquote settle down. But this is someone who probably would like to settle down someday, because we got the Hierophant here. For some perhaps minority of you, this person who wants to ask you out, sad to say, is already married. I was just talking to my mom about this phenomenon, in which, you go on the dating apps and so many of the people there are already married. So I suppose it is in the realm of possibility for some minority of you that this person who's got their eye on you already has a ring on their finger. In such case, well, I'm going to continue the reading, though, for you if you want to stick around for that. But if you want to stick around for the rest of the reading, I mean, not for a third-party situation. That's not for everybody, though, so yeah, for some of you, it's just, this is someone who aspires one day to be married. For some of you, though, this person's already there. Anyway, I did not intend to ask or answer the question, do you want this person to ask you out or anything like that. We are simply looking at who wants to ask you out. So who is this person? Please tell us more about this person who wants to ask option 4 out. We have bears. And the moon. Okay, I feel like this someone, remember we were talking about the snake and how they kind of lie quietly in wait so they can get ready to strike. And they have the element of surprise. I feel like this person is somehow cloaked in darkness to some extent, like obscurity, as in, you can't see them clearly. Maybe because they don't want to be seen clearly. Because they got something to hide, or, I don't know, I don't want to say they're shy, but they might be. There might be someone who's just shy, but I feel more like they're in the shadows on purpose. On a lighter note, they could enjoy wildlife or going out and spending time in nature. Maybe you want to put a positive spin on. Maybe they're a stargazer. Maybe they were into that recent thing. What was it? The Artemis 2 mission. Where the astronauts flew around the moon or something like that. They say. I wasn't really paying attention. Anyway, so yeah, maybe they're into space, nature. So why does this person want to ask option 4 out? What do they like so much about option 4 that makes them want to ask option 4 out? We have the doorway and the house. So this, going back to the first narrative of someone who aspires to be married someday, this person wants to ask you out because they are looking to a future in which they settle down with someone and have probably more of that traditional nuclear family, a spouse, some kids, a home, a white picket fence. Okay, I don't know if they aspire to that, even though we do have a doorway, so it's kind of, Anyway, yeah. So they feel like you are someone who they would be comfortable with and who would give them a sense of emotional security. They feel like there are happy possibilities with you. And again, this person's got their eye on, like something serious in the future with someone. So that could be why, again, the energy of hanging back in the shadows, like not really wanting to come forward because they aren't ready to make that commitment or have that kind of committed relationship just yet, because they're focused on other things, but it's on their mind. So they could see themselves asking you out and like maybe you and them as a, committed couple, maybe in the traditional marriage type scenario, they would maybe have that in like their 5-year plan or something like that. Now, going back to the other narrative, this person is already married. I think they could be maybe looking for an out. And they think that you could be that out for them. Which, look, I'm not going to comment on that. You can have your own opinions about that, and I'm sure you do. But that's beyond the scope of this reading. So now let's look and see what this person would like to say to you. So this person who wants to ask, option 4 out, What would they like to say to option 4 at this time? What would they like to say to option 4 at this time? We have, I need an explanation, some good communication somehow. This is from Beautiful Emilie by Keziah Jones. These are some kind of strange lyrics today, I think. Not all of them, but, you know, it's surprising. So the name of the song is Beautiful Enemies. Sorry, Enemy. You're not their enemy. I'm sorry. Oh, was that a Freudian slip? I don't know. I don't think so. That's kind of strange. I don't know. Maybe to you they're like a beautiful enemy. I mean, especially if they're already married. But anyway, Beautiful Emilie. The word beautiful is in the title, so I think they want you to know that they think you're beautiful or handsome, as the case may be. But they also would like to communicate with you. They want some good communication. Now, this song actually is about someone who's confused because there was some kind of relationship breakdown and communication breakdown, so that it sounds like it's a no communication / no contact situation. And I suppose that's possible here. There's someone hanging back in the shadows here is someone maybe you had something with previously and now you're not in contact with them, but they still would like to ask you out, like they want to renew or revive or something. But first, they would like some good communication and an explanation of what happened or what could happen next or something. So I suppose that's, I don't know if that's necessarily the case for everybody here. I mean, like if the person is married, maybe they just really want to talk things over with you to find out whether you would be truly suitable for suitable as a gateway out of their current relationship. But not just that. I think, you know, this is someone who maybe, I mean, they're already married in a weird kind of way. I mean, even if they're already married, like they would want to be married again. And I think that's not weird, because I guess a lot of people who married once want to do it again, have a do-over, you know, try again with someone, and hopefully it'll be better, you know. But there's kind of a psychological attachment, I think, to the status of being married, so that when a marriage fails, a lot of people feel panicked and they want to sometimes rush out and find someone else to marry lickety split, so that they can have that title again and maybe feel secure. I don't know what happens, you know, personal disclosure, I'm not married and never have been, so I don't actually know. I just have observed this phenomenon. So maybe this person is like that, if this is a married person. You would know if they're married, by the way, I think. It should not come as a surprise to you, unless you're on a dating app and you're dealing with this person. And yeah, well, be careful, I'll say. Anyway, what else would this person like to say to option 4 at this time? I am grateful to call you a friend. Oh, okay. Interesting. So are you friends with this person? Well, I suppose you could be. You could be friends with this person. But they say, I'm grateful to call you a friend, so they must think of you as a friend somehow, if that is the case. Okay, now, let's see if they are, in fact, going to be asking you out anytime soon. They want to, but will they? So will this person who wants to ask option 4 out be doing so anytime soon? Will they be asking option 4 out anytime soon? Wow, okay. I'm going to actually take that. Okay, we have too soon to tell. I don't know why it's too soon to tell, but it says too soon to tell. So maybe this is this, I don't know. I guess it'll depend on your situation or their situation. But it says too soon to tell. So I guess that's, well, it's not a yes, but it's not a no. It's a maybe. So maybe seek out another reading to find out at another time whether this person might actually come forward. Okay, so this is Who Wants to Ask You Out, option 4. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to the channel or give this video a thumbs up. It'll help it out a lot in the algorithm, help my channel out a lot on YouTube. And thank you for joining me. I'm going to move on now. Okay. Hello there, option 5. If you chose the butterfly, this will be your reading. We are asking again, who wants to ask you out? Now, with the butterfly here, and by the way, this card reads Transformation, Beauty, and Hope. We have another creature of the air, or largely of the air, which is to say that the butterfly spends a lot of its time in the air, so we could be dealing with an air sign here who wants to ask you out. That's Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Doesn't have to be, but you know, they could have this strong energy here. This is sort of similar to another animal we just saw, the snake, in that butterflies also go through these transformations. You know, they start out as caterpillars and then they go into their cocoon and then they emerge as butterflies. So this could be someone who, you know, has experienced some dramatic change in life or could be going through that at this time. The difference between, I think, you know, our snake reading and this reading is that this would be not characteristic of the person's life as a whole. It wouldn't be like, oh, this person's always going through transformations, which we might say of the snake. This is, no, some one thing, once in a lifetime thing, wherein there's a change afoot. Or they have come out of some challenging situation. They're on the other side of it now because we got the butterfly and not the caterpillar. So that's another clue for you. You know, is this person has been through something more recently. But now things have, you know, quieted down or settled down. But things are very different for this person now. There's life now, and there was life before the event that happened to cause this transformation. Now, also with the butterfly, we have the words here, beauty and hope. So this person could be attractive, like physically attractive, and even though they've gone through this huge change in life, they're actually an optimistic type of person, like more upbeat. You know, sometimes bad things happen and they can really make a person lose faith in humanity, life, the universe, but not so this person. Okay, let's find out what else we can, well, let's see what else we can find out. So for option 5, we chose the butterfly. Tell us more about this person who wants to ask option 5 out. We have the Magician. We also have the 4 of Swords. Okay, so with the 4 of Swords, excuse me, in this deck we actually here have it quite explicitly with the symbol of Libra there, that this energy, which is air energy generally, here specifically it's Libra, and that makes sense here with the intersection of the air sign with beauty. So it could be that we're dealing with someone who either is a Libra or has like Libra energy strong somehow. But this is quite interesting too, because I feel like there's some kind of duality. Because on the one hand, I feel like there's something very active here with the Magician card, but on the other hand, with the Four of Swords, obviously this person is just lying in repose. So, it's actually interesting because in the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Four of Swords. Oh, wait. Am I thinking? The Four of Swords. Am I thinking of another Swords? I'm sorry. I just realized. I'm like, wait a minute. Is that right? Okay. I'll hold on to that. Anyway. So, yeah, because now I'm thinking, am I misremembering? What the heck? I'm going to look that up because I'm like... Okay. Yes, I think that's right. Yes. In the original Four of Swords, I'm sorry, I must have been picturing another deck when I was like, wait, I got confused. The person is depicted, it's some kind of knight, someone dressed in armor, who is holding a sword, but who is also lying on top of a coffin, basically, or on top of a tomb or something like that. And you're like, what a funny place to take a nap. But the idea, and I don't know if this goes back to some kind of practice that actually happened, some kind of lore or what, but maybe in some time and place it was a thing for a knight, a soldier, to just, lie down on top of a coffin and just kind of meditate on what they're about to undertake. No pun intended. With regard to war, with regard to fighting, because it's a life or death situation. Like, hey, you might go out there into battle and never return, or you'll return in a wooden box, in a pine box, whatever. So to sit and contemplate that is an interesting imagery and energy to come through now, because we were just talking about this person who wants to ask you out has been through something, and maybe it was a life or death situation. Maybe it was some kind of serious thing, something extremely challenging. But as I said, they're on the other side of it. So maybe they are still healing, or they have healed. But again, the sense of hope comes through. And I think also with the Magician, like this person, maybe because they, or at least in part because they overcame this thing that happened, they feel empowered, like they can do anything. So maybe this is an individual who now, because of what they've been through, approaches life with a can-do attitude. Like, well, if that didn't kill me, then nothing can stop me. And I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to do and I'm going to be all I can be. Which is funny because now, again, we're talking about knights, soldiers, So now we wonder about the military. So the military is coming through here. I don't know if this person is in the military, had a military background or something like that, but that's there. Maybe some of you, that's a clue for who this is. So please tell us more about this person who wants to ask option 5 out. Who is this person? We have the ship. And the island. Okay, so we got the water over here, and we got the water over here. Which is interesting because, you know, we've been making much about air signs. But maybe there's a watery element to this person as well. That's interesting. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And since we're like looking at the ocean here, both of these, I'd say specifically Pisces. So this could be someone with a combination of, you know, air and water, which is interesting. Because, you know, the person could be more intellectual or, you know, mentally oriented, logical, social, but also emotional and sentimental. Interesting. At any rate, though, the ship and the island are suggesting travel. So maybe this is someone who has traveled some long distance, like they've gone overseas, wherever you may be, like they've gone overseas from that, or they've come from overseas to where you are. Something like that. Now with the island, I wonder if, I think we saw this again, like in another reading. This could be someone maybe who's more off to themselves. And that might be because they went through this thing and they had to heal from it. Or, you know, get through the difficulty. Okay, so why does this person want to ask option 5 out? What is it that they like so much about option 5 that they want to ask option 5 out? Okay, we have the Tower. And we have the Mystic. I'm going to just call this card the Mystic. I don't know if these cards actually have names. They might have names, but I never seem to be interested in learning them, apparently. Anyway. They see you as someone who is very warm, very nurturing, someone who would be very understanding, and that's important because of what they went through and what they are healing from, have healed from. I don't know what the long-term effects of that might be, but they appreciate the idea of being involved with someone like you because, you know, you'd offer a sympathetic ear and maybe, you know, a shoulder to cry on and, you know, arms to comfort them, you know, to wrap around them and be a comfort. Which doesn't take away from, you know, any other reason that they would want to ask you out, but this is coming through as a big thing, is that they find this very attractive. There's a very attractive energy here for them regarding you because of that quality you have. And I think it's because they want to learn to be more like that, more open, more accepting, and they feel that maybe by dating you, some of this could rub off on them. They feel like it would bring them out of themselves. Huh. Okay. So now let's see what they would like to say to you. This has been something of a wild card throughout this reading, but what would this person like to say to option 5? This person who wants to ask option 5 out, what would they like to say to option 5 at this time? What would they like to say to option 5? Let's see. We have Return of the Mack, You Knew That I'd Be Back. That is from the song Return of the Mack by Morrison. Okay, so I think this song is about someone, well, actually it's about more than, well, actually the main thing about this song, like the main kind of storyline is, I don't think that's what's relevant here. I think what's relevant here is something of the backstory here with this song. In the song, the singer apparently is someone who was trying to break into the entertainment business or make their way in the entertainment business, and they were very vocal about that with this person they apparently were in a relationship with, and that person maybe made light of it. But after the breakup, I'm guessing this is kind of the sense I got, this person succeeded in the entertainment business, and so they were able to return and basically brag and say, ha ha ha, I achieved these things, and you didn't support me. And so that's kind of interesting, because I'm feeling like it's not that they're having this sense of animosity towards you, or that they need to tell you, ha ha ha, I told you so, or I'm you didn't support me. I think it's more so that maybe they would like to say to you that they've had this in the past. Like, they've had people who didn't support them in their lives romantically in the past, and that obviously those things didn't work out, but they don't want it to happen again. And as I was just talking about, they feel that you are someone who's different than that, someone who is actually very supportive and warm, and that's why they're attracted to you. So I think they want to just underscore that. Like, not only do they want to ask you out because you're not like that, but they adamantly refuse to go back into a situation in which they're not supported. So it's almost like maybe a warning, like, hey, like, I think you're a supportive person, but I want to make sure you understand I'm looking for someone who's going to be supportive. So, you need to you need to help me to see that, or you need to weigh that before you say yes to any of my advances, or at least, before we like move forward with something more substantial, like maybe dating. So this person's just trying to get out ahead of this thing that maybe was a problem for them in a past relationship or past relationships. That's interesting. Okay, so what else would this person like to say to option 5 at this time? This person who wants to ask option 5 out, what would they like to say to option 5? Let's see, we've got, oh gosh, your strength inspires me. Well, there you go. Okay, so they are in fact looking at, your personal qualities here, and this set of traits you have is what attracts them to you. Not only that, but here specifically, your strength inspires them. And they feel like they can lean on you because of that strength. Again, the support element is coming through. Okay, so now let's see. Since this person wants to ask you out, let's see if they actually will ask you out anytime soon. So will this person ask option 5 out anytime soon? Will they actually ask them out anytime soon? Very doubtful. You know, I wasn't expecting that answer at this point. Let me see if we can get a sense of why. Okay, why? Why is it very doubtful this person would be asking option 5 out anytime soon? Okay. Well, alliance, I mean, that's... Okay, can you... Victory. Can you clarify, please, why that would make them not ask option 5 out? Okay, we got everything negative. And silence. Okay. So, maybe this person just isn't quite ready yet. Even though they would like to form an alliance with you, they also have some personal issues to work through still. And as we said, they're coming out of something major, and maybe they are still healing. Maybe they are still adjusting. And while they'd like someone supportive in their life, maybe they're just not trusting it yet, or not trusting it enough to actually try. And that's, you know, not because of you specifically. It's about what's going on with them and what's been going on with them. It has nothing to do with you. So there's that. Now, you know, take heart. I mean, if you want this person to come forward and ask you out, it's possible they will come out of this energy of being stuck and actually ask you out at some point in the future. But I asked, would it be happening sometime soon? And the cards are saying it's very doubtful, which I guess means there's still a tiny chance. It's a tiny chance that they might come forward sometime soon, but it seems the chance is greater that it will be a not yet type of thing. Okay, option 5, this is your reading. I'm going to end it here. So if you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to the channel or give this video a thumbs up. That'll help out the channel and this video in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to move on now to option 6. Hello there, option 6. If you chose this card, the swan, this will be your reading. And here we have this beautiful swan. Let me see if I can get the wording to focus. There we go. It says love, allure, and purity with our beautiful swan. So the swan is, and this is our first water creature, I think, of this reading. A water-bound or mostly water-bound creature. I guess there's an element of being in the sky as well. Do swans fly? They do fly, right? Anyway, but here the swan is in the water. So they spend a lot of time in the water. And that tells me your person, or this person who wants to ask you out, I should say, could be a water sign. That is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Since I also mentioned that I think these creatures are sometimes flying, are they sometimes in the air? So it could be someone with a combination of water, air, which we actually did see before. But anyway, here the emphasis is on water. Here, this person coming through as the swan may be very physically attractive. Now, this may be someone I don't know. We'll see if we get indications of whether they are close to you already, or like someone you interact with a lot, or like close up in the 3D. For some reason, I'm getting a sense of like distance. So this could be someone you have some kind of like online connection with, something like that. Someone who's long distance. At any rate, this is someone who is probably physically attractive, very graceful, if maybe a female. Um, if not, the way that they move is very attractive. Otherwise, say if they're male, whichever the case may be, or whatever the case may be. Um, this person is probably emotional and dreamy and romantic and all that. And again, there's a sense like maybe to you there's something dreamy here because they're not quite in person or in the flesh, like in front of you, not corporeal where you can reach out and touch them. And maybe this sense is, I mean, maybe you actually can physically reach out and touch this person, but maybe this is more metaphorical. Like there's some kind of way in which they're there, but you can't seem to quite grab hold of them for some reason. But this is who I was asking about. Let's see what else we can find out here about this person. Okay, so for option 6, who is this person who wants to ask them out? We have the 10 of Cups. And we have Death. Okay, so we got the water energy coming through again. With the Death card specifically, that's Scorpio. And with the 10 of Cups, it could be any water sign generally. So again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But in this deck, the 10 of Cups actually has the Pisces symbol on the card. So looks like we are emphasizing Pisces and Scorpio here. So your person doesn't have to be one of these signs. You know, they could have this prominent water energy, though, in their astrological charts. But anyway, they probably do have the traits that we've been talking about. You know, the emotionality, the sentimentality, whether they are showing it or not. But I feel like there's this kind of like, you know, this energy of gentleness here with the swan, but also the intensity coming through the Death card. I feel like this may be someone who has had some kind of loss of family, of marriage or marriage type relationship. So you could be dealing with someone who's, or this could be someone who is divorced, came out of marriage, or as I said again, there's some kind of family loss here. And this could be something recent, which is why it's coming through here, or maybe it's just a way for you to recognize who this is. So what else? Whoa, okay, we got Athena. Okay, Athena. Athena is the Greek goddess of war, I believe. Looks like there on her shield, is that Medusa? Medusa, who is another personage from Greek mythology. There we go. You may remember Medusa is the one whose hair was like made of snakes or something, or at least that's how Medusa is depicted. And I don't remember the exact myth or the details, but like there was something about how if you look at Medusa, then you turn to stone or something. I don't remember now. Enlighten me in the comments, please, if you recognize or remember this story. Jog my memory. But anyway, that's interesting. Athena jumps out here. We got because I mean Medusa. That's very scary, and this person looks pretty serious there. Oh, you can see. Probably not going to focus for me because I want you to see it. There we go. Well, that was good. It was there for a second. But anyway, I'm not going to take that card because it's a flipper. But it could be speaking to this idea that there's some fierce energy coming out here. Like defensiveness. And it could be coming from, as I said, if this person has suffered some loss, they may have their guard up, but they still want to ask you out apparently. So tell us more please about this person who wants to ask option 6 out. We have the world. We also have mushrooms. Okay, so the world card is again giving me a sense of maybe for some of you this person is in fact at a distance. They're long distance from you. With the mushroom, that's kind of interesting. Is there some kind of recreational drug use that this person is involved in? Maybe they're just a mushroom aficionado. I mean, I guess a lot of people, I don't know. There's something about mushrooms other than drugs, though, right? Like they're very healthy. Apparently, they have a lot of nutrients or something. So you find supplements now that have, the mushroom whatever in them. Like is it reishi mushroom or whatever. So maybe, this, now I'm talking about it, like I think that's kind of a foreign, is that a foreign thing or at least foreign origin thing? And then we got the world here. So again, this someone could be coming from, another place, a different culture, subculture. I wonder though too. I wonder about this person's state of mind with the mushrooms. So you may be dealing with someone here who I don't know about their mental health. Because we already talked about, they're defensive, I was going to say paranoid. Okay. But they want to ask you out. So I wonder where this is going. Because someone like this, are they ready to ask? Well, we'll see. Now, though, let's look at why they want to ask you out. So what is it about option 6 that this person likes so much that they want to ask option 6 out? We've got the garden and the letter. Okay, so they have experienced some good times with you, even if you're at a distance, because I've got to hear the writing, this writing energy comes through. So I wonder if you've been communicating with this person through writing, maybe text messages, DMs, emails, snail mail, I guess. Hey, why not? I mean, especially if they're at a distance. And they really enjoy that. They really enjoy, like there's a sense of having fun and socializing, And all of that coming through is somehow with this written communication. So we can say they enjoy your company. They enjoy the way that you express yourself. They may be here acknowledging that you are intelligent or somehow a good writer or interesting writer. You write interesting stuff. Um, Maybe for some of you are actually entertaining to them. Uh, but yes, this seems that it's kind of interestingly, an airy type of connection that they feel to you. I mean, I know we got the water, but we did say that the swan does spend some time in the air, so we got some air energy there, even though I don't think I wanted to focus on that, but the air energy comes back around with this. And actually, I guess with the mushroom too, it did. Interesting. Okay, now let's see what they would like to say to you, option 6. So what would this person who wants to ask option 6 out like to say to option 6 at this time? What would they like to say to option 6? We have Jack and Jill went up the hill to have a little fun. Stupid Jill forgot her pill, and now they've got a son. That is from I Don't Believe You Want to Get Up and Dance, Oops, by the Gap Band. Oh. This is a very specific message. So I don't think this is going to apply to everyone. But I feel like maybe this person wants to tell you that they have a child. If you are at a distance from them, maybe, I don't know if you don't know this, or maybe you do know that they have a child, and they want to tell you specifically how that came about here, that maybe there was no intention on their part of having a child, but it happened. And so they're expressing maybe some surprise here. So that could apply for some of you. Wonder why they want to emphasize that. Maybe they want to emphasize the idea of children because that is important. I mean, it looks like maybe the connection you've had is fun, but a child is very serious, I mean, when you are a single parent, you probably don't want to bring people into your child's life who are just kind of in and out. So they may be wanting to communicate to you that, hey, like I have this child, or maybe it's some other responsibility. For those of you who don't resonate with the child message, they have some other responsibility. And it could be another family member. Maybe it's not a child, maybe it's an elderly parent, or I don't know, or a sibling who's got special needs and this person has to take care of them. I don't know. But they want you to know, hey, there's someone here in my life I have this responsibility towards. And they probably want to know, can you deal with that? Is that okay with you, or is that a deal breaker? Before they even, go into the, would you like to go out with me? And maybe they want to figure out whether it's even worth the trouble of asking when maybe it would just be an automatic no for you. So I think maybe want you to know that, hey, this is important, and yeah, interesting. You're getting some interesting, like I was saying earlier, wild card type lyrics today because the lyrics are telling me something that they are not explicitly maybe about. It's interesting. Anyway, now let's see what else they'd like to say to you. Option 6. So what else would this person like to say to option 6? Yeah, I thought I was holding this upside down. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, what would this person like to say to option 6? What would they like to say to option 6? Let me see. It says, you are simply the best. Wow. Okay. Wow, lovely. Which reminds me of another song. I think it is called Simply the Best. Why are we having a Tina Turner theme today? Because one of her songs came through in another option in this reading. But anyway, I'll link that in the description box for you. There's a song called, I think it's called Simply the Best. It goes, simply the best, you're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I've ever met. So this person maybe is thinking rather highly of you. They say you're simply the best, unless they mean that in a very casual way. You know how people are like, oh, you're the best, you know, because you like brought them, you know, curly fries or something. But let's see now if this person is actually going to be asking you out anytime soon. I mean, they may want to, but we've already touched on a sensitive concern of theirs, so, and not to mention maybe other things going on. So let's see. So this person who wants to ask option 6 out, will they actually ask option 6 out anytime soon? Will they actually be doing that anytime soon? Wow, it says very likely. Congratulations, option 6, because I don't know if any of the other groups got quite as full-throated of a positive type answer as you have. I don't need to really add anything else to that. It says it's very likely this person will ask you out in the near future, quote unquote, soon. So, option 6, this is your reading. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to the channel or give this video a thumbs up. It would help out a lot in the algorithm and help my channel out, my little channel that is trying to grow. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and until next time, I hope, now I'm being arrogant, I think you will be back, but no, seriously, I hope you will be back. Until then, goodbye.